Good evening all, I'm Vilisink, and I'm back again with Raid Shadow Legends. Hope you're all doing well, hope you're all staying safe, looking after yourself and those around you. We're almost through this very difficult time that we've been in, so just look forward, have a little bit of faith because we will get to the other side. We're almost there, so keep faith, look after yourself, look after others. Hope you're all staying well, and in this video I spoke about epic champions that I took to 60, so I figured I would go over some rare champions that I took to 60. The champions I've got at 60 now, I kinda knew as soon as I got them. Yes, it took a little bit of time, but I knew they were going to 60. I knew I was going to be playing with them at some point. As always, it just takes time, whether it's chickens, whether it's books, masteries. For rares, the cost and so forth, expenditures are not as high, but still, for certain people it can take certain time. So we're going to take a look at the account, my account right now. I don't believe I've got level 60s in the vault, but there is a lot of rares at the end of the video that I will point out. I've got my eye on a few. Potentially just as some I think I will take to 60. But let's focus on the ones that are at 60. The ones I knew that were going to be level 60. Are the ones I had planned for. So first and foremost, we have to mention Reliquary Tender. Reliquary Tender, my last, not just rare champion, but my last level 60 champion. Badass. I put in Relentless and a speed set, and she's phenomenal, she really is. She's so much fun. I think I've first seen this champion watching Ash. If you don't watch him on YouTube, you should go subscribe to his channel. He's just an amazing guy, an amazing YouTube content creator, and he had Reliquary Tender in several videos, one along with Syl. And Syl was in Relentless, I believe, at the time, the same as this champion is. They were supporting pretty much any team that they were put in with. And pretty much every dungeon apart from a spider, so I don't believe he did spider. But as a duo, they kicked a lot of ass. So let's just say, the HP is quite good. As a base, defense is quite good. But the speed, 103 for a rare, is really, really good. The way I built her up in Relentless is 52,500 HP, 1820 defense, 221 speed, and 353 resistance. I gave her some accuracy. It wasn't necessarily the plan though, because on her A1, she can have a 20, 40, 50% chance to place 25% decrease attack. Now this wasn't the reason she went to 60. And chances are you're going to have a decrease attack champion, like Stagnite for instance, decrease attack, decrease defense. So the 25% version is not where you're going to focus on, but it may come in clutch, you never know. The other moves might be on cooldown of your debuffing champion, and this might just have to do, because it's an A1 and it has no cooldown. But it wasn't my main intention as why she became a level 60 champion. One of the reasons was, removes all debuffs from all allies. Removes all debuffs, so a team cleanse. Cleanses the whole team, just like Hakkar Smashlord and many other champions. A team cleanse is fantastic, which means she's not just good in dungeons. I've seen her work in Spider, and I've seen her work in Arena. She can go into many types of teams as well. Now, removing all debuffs from all allies is incredibly strong. It removes the stuns, it removes decreased defense, decreased attack, it removes the newest debuffs as well, like block cooldown skills and so forth. Really, really strong. That was one of the reasons I wanted to make her level 60 and play with her. After that though, she will place a 15% continuous heal buff on them for 2 turns. And continuous heal buffs are better than people seem to think. Now, with Relentless, if she just procs an extra turn after this, the continuous heal buff effectively will not fall off, and you're going to get a team cleanse, meaning very unlikely debuffs will stay on your team. She also has Call to Life, which is revives an ally with 30% HP, which is not the best revive, but it's okay. It fills their turn meter by 30%. The turn meter fill though is really good. Would you like a full team revive? No, I think the single person revive, the HP with the turn meter being in Relentless, coming straight back to the continuous heal buff. And you're going to have other champions potentially healing anyway in your team. Those are the 2 moves. Call to Life for the revive, Tender's Watch. That's the reason she became 60. That's the reason I knew she was going to be a 60. Pretty much without question. It just took me a little bit of time. So Cold Heart is the next one, and we'll go to this one here. She was slightly slower, 94 speed. Attack champion. Some attack champions are a little bit slower. They don't have to be quick to debuff. They don't have to be quick to really attack, so it is slightly slow, don't get me wrong. She is just 190 speed and no more, but it is what it is. I sacrificed a little bit of crit damage for the Relentless set. Her stats, how I have her sitting: 36.7k HP, 2300 attack, 190 speed, above 70% crit rate, 262 crit damage. Respectable, it is what it is. 280 accuracy. And the reason she went to 60 straight away was 1, 4 hitter on the A1. No cooldown for it. Heal reduction, which means Fire Knight. Straight away, fantastic. And also will help you in pretty much any other dungeon. She's fantastic in Spider as well. If you have her, you'll know what I'm talking about. Art of Pain. Attacks all enemies, 30% chance, can book it to be higher, of placing a 50% decreased accuracy debuff, which can save your team from being debuffed. Decreased accuracy is kind of becoming more familiarized among the games, not for a while now, but more people are kind of understanding just how good decreased accuracy is. Also, she'll place a poison debuff for 2 turns if they're under heal reduction. Again, the first 2 moves, pretty decent. AoE attack is always good. 4 hitters good for Fire Knight in dungeons and just in general. But the reason she's a 60, the reason that if anybody gets a Cold Heart, she's going to 60, it's because of Heartseeker. There's millions and millions of damage. Probably 3 million, 3.5 you build her right in Savage, Helm Smasher. Have all maybe the right boss with her. Team up with Bad Alcazar, Gurptuk. Decreases the target's turn meter by 100%. Again, if you go to stages 21, 25, it changes. But up until stage 20 dungeons, amazing. Look at the spider progression you're going to get. I used to use her for fun in Dragon, along with Royal Guards, just to do major damage. The turn meter doesn't help against the Dragon, but still, it's fun. You can build it to 70% crit rate, because it has a 30% extra chance of inflicting a crit, which means if you're pulling her and you're like mid-game, and you're using crit rate gloves, put on the crit rate gloves, give her the mastery, and that's you done. You can focus all the other pieces on crit damage. Damage increases according to enemy max HP. The spider has like 6 million HP. I used to call them like maybe like 3 and so forth. So anybody that gets a Cold Heart, for the same reason I'm thinking she's going to 60, they'd be doing it for Heartseeker. I'm sure you're familiar with this champion, but if you're not, You're going to have to check her out because she's just insane for damage on this ability. So the Heart Seeker is the reason she became a level 60. The third one, let's just get it out of the way. Elhane, my starter champion on this account. That's why she's a 60. And also, I like her. When I started, if I knew of Kale's poisons, would I have picked him? Probably not. I like the aesthetic that Elhane has. I like the character. Just looks really cool. And a lot of people always seem to pick the cool looking dude, so I went a little bit left field and I picked the chick who gets eaten at the start of the game, but never judge a book by its cover. Also speed 107. That is fantastically high. Attack's a little bit low. HP's average for an attack champion, and pretty much, well, I'll show you which. Well, I could show you how she's built, but she's kind of built but not built. She just has attacks with enemy, pluses an extra hit if it's a crit. So being a, you're going to build her with 100% crit anyway. Lightning arrow attacks one enemy, then all enemies. 15% chance of inflicting a crit hit, so 85% crit rate. If you want to be like really niche with your build, less, because she will place increased crit rate buff on this champion for 3 turns. If a target's killed, forget all that crap and just look at it this way. It attacks one person, then it attacks everybody. That's all you need to know. I did videos with Elhane in quite mediocre gear and the results were pretty cool. Volley of Death attacks all enemies 2 times. Again, damage. If you don't care about Kale's poisons, don't care about debuffs, you're looking for damage, which pretty much at the start of an account and so forth, early game, all you care of is damage, then Elhane. She's my starter champion. I'm happy I picked her, no regrets. Absolutely, I knew she was going to be a level 60 champion. Apothecary. Apothecary is one of the rares. There's maybe like 6 or 7. Slightly more, might be disputed. Rares, they can go from very early game to very end game, depending on how you build him. I've had him in multiple builds. I've had him 100% crit rate, 270 speed, 60k HP, like 3k defense. I've had the resistance builds, I've had like super fast builds, I've had just super high HP builds. I've had so much fun with this champion. And currently, and his base speed is 106 again. For a rare champion, 106 speed is really respectable. Better than a lot of rare epics you're going to use. And better than some legendaries are going to use. So I built him out to be 35k in HP, 2.4k defense, almost 2.5, 200 speed, slightly lower than before, 300 resistance, and that's for this build, kind of how I wanted to do it. If anything, I potentially could make him a little bit faster, but it was just to use him in Scarabin and just in some Doom Tower, which I haven't actually played much of. So Apothecary's kit is attacks 3 times at random. Again, 3 times in Apothecary, it's respectable damage. He's not built for damage, but a multi-hit attack is always good. Again, means you can take him into Fire Knight, he will help you out, means you can take you through dungeons in very early in-game progression. He is absolutely going into your Faction Wars team. He heals an ally by 35%, and the heal can be a crit heal, and he can heal for stupid numbers. Give him 100% crit rate, and you're going to see a ridiculously strong heal on a 2-turn cooldown. Boon of Speed. I love this move so much. I used to have him in my arena team At 170 speed, he was the fastest. He would come in, he would do the increased speed buff on everybody, fill the turn meter by 50%, and it was great. Allowing, back then it was War Maiden, it decreased defense to set up my damage dealers, and it was really, really cool. I think Shaman randomly was in the team for a while, just because I had a revive. But this move here, increased speed buff and a turn meter fill, can effectively have your whole team take a turn and have the whole enemy team take a turn. I believe Lysandra is 30% is increased speed, but I'm trying to think if her turn meter is 20 or 30%. I think this is quite similar, but as soon as I got Apothecary, and I remember when I got him, I was walking to the shops, and I believe I was picking up something for my daughter. Maybe it was nappies or just one of those things that you buy because she was just a little bit younger back then. And I pulled him from my weekly ancient. As soon as I seen him, I was like, right, he's going to 60, because there's so much builds. You can have him in Relentless, Reflex, you can have him in like really high HP, you can have him in speed sets, you can build him resistance so he can't be debuffed, and he constantly just is the team player you want him to be. So multi-hit, a crit heal that can heal ridiculously, fantastic speed buff and turn meter buff, with a good defense aura in dungeons by 21%. I knew straight off he was going to 60. Zero questions whatsoever. And War Maiden, the decreased defense, rare champion, everybody loves. If you're early game, this is your decreased defense. You may decide to keep her for quite some time, even until you get Stagnite. You're going to use this champion, and the good thing is, she's farmable. Stage 9 of campaign, you can go to Deadlands, farm yourself a War Maiden, and you have somebody that you can take. I use her in 20 teams, 24 teams. I use her in the very end of Faction Wars. So, close to end game, you can still use her in all of her attacks. So a poison on the A1, but it's a small version. Places an increased attack buff on herself, and an extra hit if it's a crit hit, and the extra hit cannot be critical. So just some extra damage. But Crumbling Blast, AoE, 100% chance to land. Big version, decreased defense for 2 turns and a 3 turn cooldown. Let's say it again. AoE, 100% chance to land. Big version, decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. War Maiden can smack people there for damage. You can give her high HP, high accuracy, better resistance, make her quick. Hell, you can make her slow and tanky as hell. She is a rare that definitely deserves a bit of respect. And to be honest, she could potentially do with a bit of clothes. It's a little bit windy where she is right now with this scarf or banner thing blowing, so it wouldn't hurt to get her like a Metallica t-shirt or a pair of jeans. Just keep her a little bit warmer. Not complaining, but just a suggestion for a rare. So she okay HP, attack is 1321, which is pretty cool. 97 speed, so she's not the quickest, not the slowest. 98, 99 would be better, but 97 again. If you're using her for the debuff, you're not really concerned about the poison. You really don't even care about the additional hit after you put on increased attack. You're using her for the decreased defense. AoE attack. She's not stun set, which is fantastic. If you have a stun set and it ain't on War Maiden, you're probably missing out. She has so much utility. She is so fun. I mean, there's really not much more you can say. You can farm her, you can have fun with her, and it is what it is. We'll have 2 more here, apart from Kale, who not a lot of people have a level 60 Kale. So I think we need to mention Banshee. So Banshee went to 60. Took some time before I realised I wanted her at 60. It did. It took me time to get her to 60. When I seen her, I wanted her to be at 60 because she was one of the first champions to have poison sensitivity, and it was purely clan boss. And back then, a lot of people had this idea of Banshee and clan boss. A lot of people can actually get her to work in clan boss, but I personally, you need a counter attack or maybe a double ally attack to make it worth it. Otherwise, you're just wasting potential. So I built her up, and she has hits an enemy twice. Each hit has a 100% chance bookable chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns if the target is under a poison sensitivity, which she will be. So she'll come in with the A3. Poison sensitivity goes on. I turned off the A2 because it is it's pointless. And basically she goes A1, A3, A1, A1, A3, and so forth. She will put on the debuff, and then she's just going to be banging on poisons. Now where I use Banshee, I used it in clan boss. That's originally where I built her for. I built her for a lifesteal in clan boss so she could stay alive. War Master procs, keep her alive. I tried her in the Unkillable. I tried her in teams before then. But now Banshee is the person who I mess around with in Ice Golem and Dragon. With Seer, trying to get people to kind of be killed by the boss. So she can solo the Dragon. Hell, she can solo Ice Golem. And that's why she was built up. Her stats are pretty decent. I mean, the defense is 1000, which is okay. The HP, I mean, it's average. Attack, we don't care. Although she's an attack based champion, which is very weird to me because she offers more through like a debuff kinda support-y kind of way type of thing. Maybe not support, but definitely not somebody you're going to build full crit rate, high crit damage, savage unless you're a big whale and you want to have fun. Her speed 99, which is acceptable. Mine is at 240 speed, so if I'm lucky and people die on Dragon, she will absolutely, as you've seen in videos, just keep taking turns, put out poison after poison after poison. She's really good in your faction wars as well. Not to be stiffed at, so if you get a Banshee, yeah, there is other poisoners that are potentially better. But for me, it took a while for me to realise, it took a while for me to get her to 60. I knew she'd get there. It was just, this champion came up, that champion came up. Then I kind of forgot about it. But she was going to 60 at some point. We have Kale, who I put in Relentless, and he was somebody I messed around with Dragon. I knew he was also going to be 60. I think more for fun. He's really good in clan boss. If you're early, he's good in dungeons. He will help you so much. Although I never used him in your faction wars team, early game clan boss is really good because he is your debuffer. He is your damage, he is your poisoner. I also have here, for instance, Painkeeper. You all know why Painkeeper is at 60, because of the budget unkillable. Or on, I mean, you don't need her for a budget unkillable. You could also potentially use her as your healer in your Faction Wars team. She's in my Faction Wars 21 team, which works quite cool. Stage 20 works quite cool. Sylar, Double Gold Heart, Painkeeper, and Vilisink. And I have other rares here as well. I mean, Gnarlhorn's at 50. I do plan on making him 60 for Faction Wars. Other ones here are just mainly food just now. Yeah, Soulborn Boyer, I've looked at her so many times. Nothing's happened so far, to be honest. I've deliberated on and off Bellower being a level 60 champion. Same with Corpulent Cadaver. He's one I will be putting to 60. I just need to wait until the time is right to put him into Clan Boss, mess around with just some really high, sick kind of damage. So that's a for sure thing. I'm just waiting until the time is right. Do we have any other rares that I know? Like Fellhound, I think again is a champion that's going to be level 60. And that would be for the camping farming aspect of it. Just because he's a bit quicker. Again, the time has to be right. I've got Skullcrown doing it in 8 seconds. He'll do it in like 5 or 6. Which over time will actually make a major difference. Yeah, but just now he's quite happy sitting there. He's not neglected, he's just comfy. Yeah, we have, I mean, Greybeard has potential. I do like his debuffs, he's unkillable, he's freeze. I think he's quite a good champion. Apart from that, I think the other champions in here, I'm not sure there's any that are here right now, are going to 60 realistically, apart from Cold Hearts, just because you can never ever 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 have enough Cold Hearts. It doesn't happen. Cold Hearts are amazing. So much fun. So there we have it, guys. Looking at my account, the champions, I really thought I had more rare champions at level 60. I really thought I did. It turns out I don't, which to me is actually a bit of a genuine surprise. A lot of them are still at 50. But they are the ones I took to 60. Most of them at 60, I knew I was going to get there. I have some more that I, in future, when I take to 60, just because they're so viable early, mid, and some potential in late game. So guys, comment down below the rares that you're not in love with, but you kind of have a bit of feelings for. Ones you took to 60, ones that you don't regret. Was it your Painkeeper for your budget unkillable? Was it maybe a Fellhound for your campaign? Obviously your starter could be in there as well. You know, did you build a Corpulent Cadaver and so forth? Let me know in the comment section, guys. I think that wraps it up for today. So stay safe, keep on raiding, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.